Hello guys, TavHD here and welcome back to another video, and today we will be doing something involving this Hitachi stereo CD/radio cassette recorder with automatic stop mechanism. And what we're going to be doing is trying to convert some of my old cassettes into some form of digital format, and I'm assuming it will be MP3, and I've got 5 of them to do. I'm not sure if these cassettes even work anymore, but today we're going to be trying to convert them to digital using this. Now, there are products you can buy on the internet which will do this in an easier way, but I don't really want to buy anything, and I've got this on hand. I've got a computer. We're going to be using Audacity to do this. I just want to say that before we start, this is not a tutorial at all. This is just me documenting the process of me going about doing this. So I'm not even sure if this will work properly, but I guess we will see. So the way we're going to do this is I've got an auxiliary cable. Here's the end of it. The other end is in the line input on my computer, and this end is going to go into the headphone output on this stereo. So when we play the cassette, it'll send the audio through out this port and into the line in, where I can record it directly in Audacity. So we're going to do a few tests first to make sure this cable's working, because it is looking a bit worse for where the cable is kind of coming apart a bit, but hopefully it'll be fine. So let's move over to my main desk and see if we can get this thing working. Okay, so here we are on the desk. The stereo has power, but because it's in cassette mode, no lights come on for some strange reason. But just to test this, I'm going to put it into radio mode now. I'm going to put the aerial up, and then on the computer I am going to select listen to this device in the line in properties, apply that, and hopefully through my computer speakers we should be able to hear some sort of audio. Now, I can't really play it for very long because of copyright, but let's just see if this works. Okay, so we've not got a very good signal in here, but as you can see, that was working, so the audio is getting into the computer. Okay, so the first cassette we're going to try here is Pudding and Pie. This has 40 nursery rhymes on it. This is actually from 1980 something, I'm not sure exactly, but I'll have a check and put it on screen. So we're going to try this first. As far as I'm aware, this cassette does work, but I'm going to put it into the machine, send it back to the beginning, then we should be able to start recording side A and B. Alright, so first off we're going to do side A, so let's slide that in. And the first thing we're going to do is rewind it back to the beginning so we can start recording from the start. So now I'm just going to rewind, and once that's finished I will come back. Okay, so it's just rewinded. Side 1 is now at the start, so let's move over to Audacity. So here in Audacity you can see I've got line in selected as the input. So once I click record here, it'll start recording the input. So I'll click record and press play on the cassette player, and then we should be able to see it recording. Okay, so I am now going to click record in Audacity, and now I'm going to press play. And as you can see, it is now recording some sort of waveform. So I'm going to leave this on just for a few seconds, then see if it's working. If it is, then I will carry on the recording. Alright, so I'm going to stop that there. So I will stop it on the tape player first, now stop it on here. Now I'm going to try and listening to this back and see if it worked. Okay, so it seems to be recording the static from the cassette, and we can try removing that later if we need to. And there we go. I can hear the start of the music. So I'm now going to do this full cassette, then I'll come back, we'll see if it works, and if it does then I will do the rest. So this is going along quite nicely, as you can see, so it seems to be working. There's about 20 songs on this side, each one's about 1 to 2 minutes in length, so once this has done, hopefully we can listen to it back. So we're about 7 minutes in now and it still seems to be going just fine, but I'm not exactly sure how long this cassette is, so I'm assuming that once it's got to the end, the tape player will make some sort of noise and the play button will pop up. Then once it does that, I will stop the recording, then we'll have a look at how to reduce the noise of the audio, which is actually quite easy to do. Some good news is that the tape doesn't seem to be making any funny noises like I've had them do in the past. This one's actually being quite quiet, so hopefully there's nothing wrong with it. So I've just been looking through the information that came with this cassette and it says that this recording is copyright and unauthorized copying is strictly prohibited. Now, hopefully I don't get in trouble for doing this. If you are doing this, don't do it for naughty reasons, do it for your own personal use only, please. Okay, so I just listened into the audio there and it's currently playing a song called Hot Cross Buns, and if we look on the inside label here, Hot Cross Buns is followed by only 3 more, so side 1 really shouldn't take much longer, and if we look, I think it has just started on the next one, which is Jack Sprat. I don't know that song, I don't think I've ever heard it before, but hopefully when this is finished we should be able to listen to it. Okay, so we are now on the final song of side 1, which is 3 Blind Mice, and I don't believe this is a very long song, so hopefully in a few moments the cassette should stop and we can review the recording. And there we go, it has now stopped, so now I'm going to stop the recording in Audacity. There we go, I have now stopped that, so now let's see what it recorded. Alright, here we are, here's the recording, this is the entire thing here, so let's just go straight to the beginning. Now I'll just choose a certain point. As you can hear, it has recorded something, but that doesn't sound very good. I'm finding that quite hard to understand what's being said. Let's try doing noise reduction on it first and see if that helps, and if not, then maybe I'll have to look a bit more into this. So the first thing we're going to do to remove the noise is select a bit of silent audio where the noise is apparent. We're going to then go to the effects menu, go down to noise reduction. We're going to get a noise profile now. Now we've got that, we're going to go back up to effects, go back to noise reduction. Now we're going to click OK, and as you can see the levels have now lowered. So let's take a quick listen to that bit. That's before and that's after, so that is a lot better. But now we've got to apply that to the whole thing. So what we're going to do is select the whole thing, go back up to the effects menu, go back to noise reduction and apply that, and now it is going to apply the reduction. Okay, so that noise reduction was successful, but as you can hear, it's still very hard to understand what's going on. There seems to be quite a lot of bass in this, and I'm not exactly sure why. The recording has worked as I would expect it to, so I'm assuming that it is the tape at fault, as the stereo has worked doing something similar in the past, so I'm going to count this as kind of a success. I'm not going to film doing any more of them. I think that this will do for the video, but I'll put in a clip at the end during editing saying if the other ones worked and whether I managed to fix this one. But for now I think that this is fine and this has worked in a way. So thank you for watching this video and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye. Okay, so it's the next day now and I've had a bit of time to think about what might have made that cassette sound so funny. It turns out that the cassette wasn't at fault, but it was this button on the top of the stereo that is labelled X bass, and it was pressed down when it should have been up. But I thought that that button only affected the sound that came out of these speakers, but it turns out it affects the output through the headphone jack as well. So I've tried recording it with that button not pressed and it sounds just fine. So I'm going to do all the other tapes with that button not pressed and it should all be just fine. So if you are going to do this, make sure all effects on the stereo are turned off before proceeding. So I'm glad I've worked that out, and that is the end of the video, so goodbye.